You think you're doing great. You're investing in a man, you're being open and honest and vulnerable, you're spending time together, and then out of nowhere, he ghosts you. Listen, you are not alone. Unfortunately, I hear this from clients all too often. I want to tell you 3 reasons why men go silent so you can identify if a guy is a good fit or not before he ever ghosts you. I'm Jason Silver. I'm the dating coach for ambitious, creative women. And in this channel, I teach you strategies and insights about men to help you find your true love. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my trainings. Now let's jump into it. Reason number 1, they don't know how to deal with conflict. Unfortunately, there's no official guide on how to deal with conflict resolution in a relationship. Most men just use what they've grown up with, which typically isn't always that healthy. And it's your responsibility to train the people you're with on how to deal with conflict with you, because no one else is going to train them. Now, an approach that I love to take is getting curious. So instead of immediately jumping to judgment or making assumptions, start to ask questions. And it's so hard, especially if you're intuitive, because you feel like you know exactly what's going on. But before you make that leap, ask questions. I know both my wife and I actually ghosted people when we dated in our early 20s. And the main reason that we did it was we had no other options. We never learned the tools to address this. It was only after getting ghosted myself that I began to dive in and learn more. It's upsetting to me that conflict resolution is not taught in school. It's so important. So I encourage you, keep an eye out when you're with a guy. Is he addressing conflict, or is everything good all of the time? Is there never any disagreement? Because that could be a red flag. Number 2, they're afraid of being honest with you. This is the most common reason I hear from men. And realistically, fear is probably one of the biggest root causes of relationship trouble. Fear of financial insecurity, fear of the future, fear of someone's past, fear of what other people think about you. Relationships can be terrifying, really scary. But if you've got this scared guy who is incapable of facing you and being honest with you, well, it's better that you find out sooner than later. So if a guy puts on this big show that I'm not afraid of anything, I could do anything and nothing scares me, that's a red flag. Because the strongest leaders, the strongest men I know are honest about their fears, are vulnerable. One of the ways that I try to address fear in my relationship is focusing on courage and being courageous. On our honeymoon, we try to do something scary every day. It's kind of a saying in our family, do something scary every day, or else you can get stuck in this rut of comfortability and avoiding the fear. And realistically, facing fear is the pathway to true intimacy, to true connection. We discovered that the hardest thing to do is to move through fear. And one of the hardest things to do in a relationship is to show someone who you authentically are without trying to change yourself, without trying to sugarcoat yourself, just being the true you. I know you have the courage to do it. And do it from the beginning of a relationship. Don't wait. Because the more that you can push through and be authentic and face that fear early on, the more that you can set the example in the relationship. Some of the saddest stories I hear are of my clients investing their time and energy into a man, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, building a family together, and then poof, the guy disappears because he's afraid. But what are men really afraid of? Well, that brings me to number 3. They don't want to disappoint you. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And it may sound nice that a man doesn't want to disappoint you, but good intentions can be poisonous when they're followed up with hurtful actions. Disappointment is a natural part of being in a relationship. I hate to say it, it's true. And many of my clients, most of my clients, are probably idealists, optimists, and inevitably, as you get to know someone, they're never as perfect as we had hoped. I love the idea of being authentic from the get-go, from the very start. If you're a nerd, be a nerd. If you're wacky, be wacky. Dropping that facade, dropping what you think he wants in you, which is the most terrifying thing for both men and women. Because if it doesn't work out, or if he says no, or if you say no, what does that really mean? What meaning do we attach to that? We attach the meaning that we are not enough, that we finally have exposed our true, authentic self to someone, and they have said, no, I don't value you, who you are. And we can internalize that, and I encourage you not to. Now that you understand these 3 reasons, I encourage you, look back for a minute and think about, oh, I did see some of those red flags. I did see that guy wasn't really being honest, or I wasn't being fully authentic. And when you really start seeing that, you can forge ahead. You can start to express yourself. You can train a man how to resolve a conflict with you in a healthy way. When you open up and courageously are yourself in a relationship and you connect with a partner, there's just nothing more fulfilling. And now that you know why men go silent, you can use this advice to improve your love life and filter out these lower quality men so you can find your true love. Imagine meeting a guy who's exactly the kind of person that you envision spending the rest of your life with. Someone who's smart and funny, handsome, kind. And instead of immediately just giving him all your attention and affection, you're calm, you're relaxed, you let him come to you. You demonstrate the who that you are, and you respect yourself for it. You show him that being with you is somewhere that he can feel at peace and he can feel like himself. Maybe you help him connect with his emotional side, you support him. He begins to feel as though he can't live without you. A few months down the line, he says, "You are my rock, my best friend, I am in love with you." Men are capable of falling deeply in love with a woman that they find exceptional. And you can be that exceptional woman for someone great. I know meeting the right guy and things falling perfectly into place can be hard, but you have an advantage because you're smart and driven. You're watching my video, so I know that's true. Okay, so now you know these 3 reasons. Maybe there's an issue that he sees, and whenever he thinks about bringing it up, it just brings up all this childhood trauma or these emotions that he's just terrified to say. And he thinks to himself, he has this crazy thought, oh, it's just, I can't do it. It's just not worth it. It's too much. And he doesn't call. Or maybe he has this secret desire to move in 3 years, and he's so terrified to tell you that because he's afraid that you'll reject him. Or maybe a man built a connection with you and he saw what a great woman you were, and he knew that he doesn't have the capability, the capacity to commit to you. And he was just afraid that if he stayed with you any longer, he would hurt you more. Now, this isn't justification, but these are real reasons why men go silent. Now, if you made it this far, I know you're here for some juicy secrets to help you understand guys better. And I'm gonna offer you an extremely valuable secret approach that's gonna do just that. It will unlock the key to a man's heart and reveal his true deepest desires. I call the approach going inside the male mind. Learning this just gives you this ability to read men better, to understand our hidden desires. But I'm gonna warn you, this concept is a bit controversial, and that's why I'm not posting this publicly on YouTube. So if you're interested, I just released a new exclusive presentation where I explain this approach in depth, and you can watch that right now by clicking the link in the description. In the presentation, you'll get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into what men secretly say when you're not around. You'll have your eyes open up to this new, smarter way to attract a high-quality man into your life quicker than you ever thought possible. Frankly, it might just change the way you view dating forever. You'll see what I mean when you view the presentation. I'll see you over there.